Between now and then, the SEC continues to engage in unethical practices in order to torture Ripple for as long as possible. What is their newest action, and will it help them win the case? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. But first, we are giving away $500 at the end of the month to one random subscriber to start on their XRP journey. All you need to do is to like the video, subscribe and comment your thoughts on XRP in the comment section.
Hey guys, have you ever heard about Stablepool? If you own XRP and are interested in making constant money on exchanges like 1inch, Uniswap and Co., then this website is perfect for you. After having to sign up to the site with your email, you can simply go to Top Up and select the currency and the amount of it that you want to deposit on the site. Now go to Open DeFi Staking or add liquidity in Liquidity Pool. The site shows you how much of that amount you'll earn as interest within 12 hours, usually around 0.1 to 0.2%. Within 1 year, you'll have made 2x without any risk, which helped the site receive more than $80 million within the first week. And the best part, if you sign up until October 31st, you'll receive $50 in a random cryptocurrency for free.
Welcome back XRP Army. Court records show that the Securities and Exchange Commission is now requesting that the court grant an extension of 2 months to the discovery phase of its case against Ripple Labs, according to freshly filed court documents. During the discovery phase of a legal proceeding, both parties are expected to submit relevant materials and evidence to the court for consideration. To be more specific, the SEC seeks to extend the deadline for expert discovery from November 12, 2018 to January 14, 2019, from the current date of November 12, 2018. The agency asserts that this delay will give it enough time to produce rebuttal reports and depose at least 14 expert witnesses, according to the agency. In the opinion of the regulator, this postponement will have no impact on any of the other scheduled dates in the case. Do you agree that the SEC's DELAYAL is wrong? If yes, then make sure to like this video. This is an excerpt from their letter. Dear Judge Torres, pursuant to Rule I-C of this court's individual practices, Plaintiff Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, respectfully requests that the court extend the expert rebuttal report deadline to November 12, 2021, and the expert discovery deadline from November 12, 2021 to January 14, 2022. In this case alleging that defendant Ripple Labs, Inc. Ripple, together with individual defendants Bradley Garlinghouse, and Christian Larson, made over $1 billion in unlawfully unregistered securities offerings. The SEC's proposed extension would complete expert discovery as to Ripple within 11 months of the amended complaint's filing and within approximately 10 months of Ripple's answer. Ripple consents to an extension of the rebuttal report deadline until November 12, but opposes the January 14 deposition deadline, as set forth below. Although the SEC versus Ripple case is at risk of being extended again, this time for a possible summary judgment, Mr. Hogan felt confident that the matter was nearing its conclusion. It was a highly unusual request, says Stuart Alderoty, General Counsel of Ripple, of the Securities and Exchange Commission's request. Every litigator will tell you it's always the defendant, never the plaintiff, asking to delay proceedings. Why would any plaintiff, let alone one with unlimited resources, play the delay card? The blockchain firm appears to believe that granting an extension may result in a disruption of the briefing schedule for the summary judgment motions, which would likely cause the litigation to drag on for longer than necessary. Twitter user at XRP Moon or Bust pointed to Judge Annalisa Torres' order refusing the XRP holders' request to intervene in the case as an example of how quickly the XRP community responded to the SEC's request for intervening in the case, while granting the amicus curiae status. Jeremy Hogan, an XRP-friendly lawyer, has remarked on the proposal too. What's clear from this motion to extend discovery out 2 more months is that the SEC filed this $1.4 billion lawsuit without setting aside the resources to prosecute it. If the judge grants it, the main parts of the case won't be decided until March to May of 22. Comment, XRP Army, if you believe Ripple will win the case. My instinct, without having read Ripple's reply, is that the judge splits the baby and provides an additional month to expert discovery. Judges never want an appellate court to hear lack of due process arguments on a case, he proceeded. Currently, the SEC versus Ripple action is at risk of being extended again, this time for the purpose of a prospective summary judgment extension. In his statement, Mr. Hogan noted that the action will most likely be completed in the first part of 2022, or at the very least by the summer. The case will be over by summer at the latest. An appeal could take 9 to 12 months to be decided, but while the appeal is going on, the trial judge's ruling is the law. The SEC asks the extension because expert discovery has begun with an incomplete factual record, and as a result of the incomplete factual record, the case is even less prepared for summary judgment motions than it was before the extension was granted. First, on September 1, 2021, Magistrate Judge Ned Byrne granted the SEC's motion to compel Ripple to produce certain instant messages among its employees, but Ripple has not completed its production of responsive documents and has not provided any timetable by which it will be complete. And even political pressure and criticism on the SEC is growing. Several Republican members of the Securities and Exchange Commission have criticized the agency's approach to regulating the cryptocurrency industry, which Chairman Gary Gensler, who is Democrat, has compared to the Wild West in his remarks. In a statement released on Wednesday, Hester Pierce, one of the two Republicans who serve on this 5-member panel, claimed that the agency should make a greater effort to engage with cryptocurrency companies in order to draft laws that they can comply with. "I think it's safe to assume that crypto is going to grow in size," Ms. Pierce said at the Wall Street Journal's Tech Live conference. "And so what we can do now to invest in building a reasonable framework, I think, will pay off down the line." By the way, do you think the SEC's actions will be stopped by politicians? Let us know in the comment section down below. Mr. Gensler was appointed to the SEC by President Donald Trump after his predecessor, Republican Jay Clayton, claimed that most cryptocurrencies likely meet the definition of a security and should, as a result, be subject to SEC rules. One implication of this would be that online trading platforms that allow private investors to buy and sell cryptocurrencies would be required to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. As part of his executive team, Mr. Trump named Ms. Pierce, who indicated that the process of complying with SEC requirements is tremendously complex and time-consuming for startup enterprises to navigate through. Across the world, financial authorities are rushing to develop digital currencies, and many are wondering, who has the skills to do so? Regulators tend to be very conservative for a reason, she stated. If something doesn't get approved, we're not going to get blamed. If something does get approved and something goes wrong, we will get blamed. But that hesitation is really costly for smaller entities. Aside from that, Ms. Pierce echoed the concerns raised by cryptocurrency investors and some Republican politicians about the SEC's inability to provide more guidance on which types of cryptocurrencies should be considered outside of the agency's jurisdiction. It is the desire to increase the scope of its own regulatory authority, according to Ms. Pierce, that has prompted the agency's stance. The growing political criticism could mean that the SEC's actions might be stopped by the politicians soon. What do you think about the SEC's case DELAYAL? Do you think it might help the SEC win the case? Let us know in the comment section. If you want to continue to know about XRP, we have got 2 videos waiting for you on the end screen to check out. Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Kindly note that prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered financial advice. Do conduct your due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.